I am Sunil Mahabar. I welcome you in this third part of the series How It Works on electrical engineering. So the idea is that to make electrical as simple as possible and also as enjoyable as possible by adding the experience of my more than 41 years of service in electrical engineering. So we will see the part today, third part. The title is How It Works. And today we will be focusing on what is dynamic or current electricity. In earlier parts, we have seen what is static electricity, which are the different types of electricity, what is the structure of atom, what is electron, what is proton, neutron, that we have seen. And today we will see what is dynamic electricity. So this slide you have seen already, what is static electricity and what is dynamic electricity. To make the learning more sound, if you talk about static electricity, then it remains on the surface, on the material in which it got generated. For example, when we walk on the carpet, so the rubbing action between your shoe sole and the carpet, it makes one material positive, the other material negative. So your shoe sole becomes positive by shedding few of the electrons, and since the excess electrons have gone and deposited on the carpet, it becomes negative. Okay, and then the possible transfer of energy in case of electricity is only surface to surface. You cannot flow static electricity with a wire, and therefore it is called static. It remains wherever it got stuck, wherever the additional electrons got cling to, that area will remain charged, and it will remain there till it gets discharged by some other surface. So we have seen the example also that when we walk on the carpet, our body gets charged, and when you touch the lift button, we receive a shock. Actually, we are not receiving shock, we are giving shock to the lift. It gets earthed, our body charge. So today we will see what is dynamic electricity, direct current and alternating current. So let us first focus on direct current. So dynamic electricity is the flow of electrons. It is not like static electricity. It flows through conductor, and the electrons actually flow, and the reverse of that electron is the flow of current. So the current flows from positive to negative, or higher altitude to lower altitude, or higher potential to lower potential, whereas electrons flow from lower potential to higher potential. So their direction is reverse, but the direction of current is from positive to negative. So let us understand this with the analogy of cars waiting at the red signal. You just imagine, visualize this, that there is a long queue of cars waiting at the red signal and waiting for it to become green. And in the meanwhile, one construction vehicle is crossing the road from the crossroads. So they are waiting for, other cars are waiting for the construction vehicle to pass. So once this pass, there will be a gap created between the first car and the second car. Now you look at this gap, which is indicated by the red arrow, and look at the gap. It is traveling from right to left, whereas the vehicles are traveling from left to right. So the gap which was earlier on the second is now has traveled to the last. So in a similar fashion, when one electron gives way from one surface to other surface, it is actually getting knocked down from an atom. An atom in itself is neutral. So when it gives away one electron, the atom becomes positive because it is less by one electron. And wherever it got added, it becomes negative. Similarly, when a car passes from left to right, a hole gets created, and that hole is positive, similar to atom. So now the gap is positive to be filled by another car, or the gap in conductor, hole in conductor is ready for other electron to occupy the space. So it becomes positive. Okay. So this is the analogy. Now let us see in electrical engineering. Let us see in electrical engineering what if this is a bulb and this is a battery or cell, and if these are the positive ends and negative ends, and I connect one wire to the positive to the cap of the bulb and negative wire to the bottom connector of the bulb, then it will glow, the bulb will glow. So the direction of electrons will be from negative to positive through bulb. Through bulb it will travel the path and it will ultimately reach to the positive of the battery or cell. But if you notice the current or the hole in the queue of the cars, then the direction of the current is from positive to negative. It is reverse direction. So positive direction of current is reverse to electrons. That concept is, uh, please keep it in mind, that concept, because it is very important. And whenever I ask this question to students, then at times they are not able to answer. They are not able to answer. So this is very important. Another thing, if we represent DC voltage in the graphical form, that on the vertical axis if there is voltage, and on the horizontal axis if this is a time scale, you may call it hours, seconds, whatever you want to call it, days. So if a battery is of 12 volts, then irrespective of the change in time, the 12 volt will remain as 12 volt. Here it is written that speciality of DC is voltage remains constant on time scale. Unlike AC, unlike alternating current, where voltage regularly fluctuates between 0 to positive peak, then to 0 again, then to negative peak, then once again to 0. This is called one cycle, 0 to 0, with two peaks, positive and negative. And in alternating current, this fluctuation happens 50 times in a second. That fluctuation is 50 times in a second, and that is what is called 50 hertz frequency. Okay, so alternating current is fluctuating. Now to another concept which is very important for DC as well as AC, because the entire electrical engineering is based on the creation of or generation of North Pole and South Pole. A motor will rotate if North Pole and South Poles are created. A generator will generate if the North Poles and South Poles are created. So let us understand this thoroughly, that how North South and South Poles are generated. And at times, as already said, okay, I ask this question to students, fresh outs from college. So they are unable to remember when the North Pole gets created and when the South Pole gets created. They are not clear in their thoughts. So let us understand it properly. So if this is a bar like thing, a round bar, so it actually in 3 dimension it looks like this. So if you look at this round bar from the end, left end, you will see only a circle. And if you look at it even from the right side, you will only see a circle. You will not see the entire bar. This is a round bar and the wire has been wound on it, and suppose I take a battery, then connect positive end at this left side and negative to the other side. Please make it clear that the negative end is coming from the back side of the bar. So the current will rotate in this fashion. The current will rotate in this fashion, it will travel upward and finally it will come out and go to the negative. I am talking about current, not about electrons. So current will travel from positive to negative. It will come out from the lower end and ultimately pass through the battery. So if we look at the ends only, if we now concentrate on the ends, that is circular end, then on this side, the rotation of the current is anti-clockwise. If you look at the clock, then it is rotating anti-clockwise. And if we look at the other end, that is the right side end, then the rotation of the current is clockwise. So theory says that when current rotates anti-clockwise, then North Pole gets created, and if it rotates clockwise, then South Pole gets created. This is theory. So once again, this is slightly difficult to remember. कि anti-clockwise creates North Pole or clockwise creates North Pole. This is slightly difficult to remember. So I have found a simple way. Yeah, I have seen it somewhere, but I have found that this is the simple way of knowing or remembering. That put a capital N, capital S, and put the arrows at the end. So the capital N will denote the anti-clockwise movement of the clock, and capital S will show clockwise movement of the clock. So it is very easy to remember. You just write capital N and capital S and put the arrows. So North Pole and South Poles are created only with DC supply. That also must be remembered, because this is the experiment I created myself when I joined a company new in 1977. So I thought that every clockwise rotation will give rise to North Pole. So I have applied that wire, I have wound that wire on the bar and then passed the current. So instead of creating North Pole, South Pole, it got heated up. The rod got heated up because the supply I was using was not DC, it was alternating current. So alternating current can never create magnet. It will create magnet, it creates magnet, but that we will see when we will talk about alternating current, how the magnet gets created. But to remember it, magnet, permanent electromagnet will never get created if the supply is alternating. Okay, so it gets created only with the DC supply. Now another concept, that DC supply is available in cell or battery. But the question is how we generate DC supply, how the DC supply is generated. So again, once again, a round bar with magnet which we have converted into magnet electrically, and another magnet placed face to face, that is North Pole facing South Pole. Then the magnetic flux, the attraction of North Pole towards South Pole, the flux lines will be from north to south. The flux will have impact from north to south. Now suppose we place the conductor in between. It is one single conductor. We are seeing the ends of one single conductor. It is loop of a wire, and we are seeing the cut section of the wire. So these two round things you are looking at are the two ends of the same conductor. This is one conductor only. And now if we rotate it, so what we can do, we can place the magnets. Either we can do place South Pole here or North Pole here. So that is our choice. Wherever we can put the North Pole or South Pole. Second choice is the movement of the conductor. That is our choice. We can either rotate it clockwise or we can rotate it anti-clockwise. But then what happens is not our choice. It is the rule or it is the law, electrical law. And how it is determined that how the current will get generated. So Faraday's law says that whenever a conductor cuts a magnetic flux, when any conductor cuts magnetic flux, then the current gets generated. Then there is a Fleming's right hand rule which shows that if you put the fingers like this 90 degrees to each other, which I am showing in camera and also in the picture. So if they are placed like this, then we have two choices. Two choices is the direction of movement of conductor, which will be indicated by the thumb direction, then the direction of magnetic flux, because these are the two things which we can decide. The direction of rotation, we can decide clockwise or anti-clockwise, or we can also decide whether the North Pole will be on left side or right side. That is our decision. But then what happens is not our decision. It is governed by a rule. It is governed by a law. And what that law says, that the middle finger will indicate the direction of current. So in this particular case, when the direction of rotation is upward and the direction of magnetic flux is from right to left. The middle finger direction of current, it shows the direction of current that it is coming out. Now let us see what happens to the other end of the conductor. The Fleming's right hand rule holds true for this direction also, but you will have to turn the gesture by like this. You have to turn it vertically 180 degree, so that thumb will now indicate the downward direction. The index finger continues to indicate the direction of the magnetic flux, and the middle finger, which is pointing towards the wall now in this case. So the current is indicated by the middle finger. So the current is going away from you. Now how this is indicated in drawing, that the current coming out and current going inside. So it is indicated by a dot if it is coming out and by a cross if it is going inside. How to remember it? It is like an arrow. The arrow which is shot at you, you will only see only a point of the arrow, the tip of the arrow. But when the same arrow leaves you or goes away from you, you can see the feather end of the arrow. So that is the easy way of remembering it, that whenever current is coming out, you have to indicate it by a single point, and whenever the current is going away from you, then you have to indicate it by a cross, like the feather end of the arrow. So this is the easy way of remembering. Whether it is DC or AC, Fleming's right hand rule holds true. It holds true in AC as well as DC. In earlier slide, I have said that with AC you cannot create magnet. But when we talk about alternating current, we will see that the magnet gets created in AC also, but it is fluctuating. South pole, north pole. That we will see in detail when we discuss about the alternating current. So there is a Fleming left hand rule for motors to decide direction, because we have used Fleming's right hand rule to decide direction of the current indicated by middle finger. But in case of motor, the direction of flux can be decided by us, the index finger. The direction of current can be decided by us because we are giving current to motor. But direction of rotation is the result of this law or rule. You cannot decide the direction. You can decide the direction of magnetic flux. You can decide the direction of flow of current, but you cannot decide the direction of motor. Direction of motor is decided by the rule, electrical rule. The easy way of remembering is Fleming's left hand rule, which is used for motor. So that's all. Now let us see that what are the different gadgets and equipment in-house or known to us which require DC supply. A car works on battery, radio, mobile, torch, laptop. This everything works on DC. But the power supply available in house is AC. So the device which converts AC to DC is known as rectifier. And in one of the parts we will study even rectifier. And the inverter is for converting DC to AC. You might have seen inverters in house when the MSCB supply goes or electricity board supply goes. Then the lights are working on inverter. So that is the device which converts DC into AC. Battery supply, it is converting into alternating current. So thank you very much for watching this video. I have also given my Gmail address at the bottom. So in case you want to contact me, you can contact me on that. Thank you once again for watching this video with patience. And if you liked it, then of course press the like button and also subscribe, because there are many more videos going to get uploaded to make your electrical learning easy and enjoyable. Have a nice time and take care.